I used to believe investing was only for people with thousands of dollars in the bank. People who read financial news, owned suits, and talked about the stock market like it was a second language. Me? I was just trying to make it to the end of the month. But one day, staring at the same $100 I'd been holding on to for emergencies, I asked myself, what if I took a chance? Not a huge one. Just enough to learn. Just enough to feel what it's like to take that first step. So I did it. I put $100 into a real investment. No fancy tricks, no overnight riches. Just one small, intentional move. What happened next completely surprised me, and it might just change the way you see your own money. Most people never invest because they think they can't. I don't have enough. It's too risky. I don't even know where to start. I've heard it all, and honestly, I've said it all too. But deep down, I started wondering if that mindset was the real problem. That $100 wasn't going to change my life sitting in my wallet. But maybe, just maybe, it could change my mindset if I put it to work. I wanted to know, is it possible to start small and still feel like I'm moving forward? So I decided to stop waiting for the perfect moment and just begin. I wasn't looking to get rich, I was looking to get unstuck. And once I made that decision, something inside me shifted, and I knew I had to see it through. Before I clicked invest, I'll be honest, I didn't expect much. I thought, it's just $100, nothing big will happen. Part of me believed it might even disappear. But another part of me was curious. What if I learned something valuable even if the money didn't grow? What if this was less about results and more about experience? I wanted to understand how it felt, to commit, to risk, even just a little. Still, I had doubts. Would I regret it? Would I feel foolish? I wasn't sure. But I told myself, if I want to change my financial future, I have to start acting like someone who believes in it. So with equal parts fear and excitement, I stepped in, not knowing what would happen next. After some research, I decided to put my $100 into a low-cost ETF, an exchange-traded fund that tracks the S&P 500. It's basically a basket of the 500 biggest companies in the US, and it moves with the overall market. Why this? Because it's simple, diversified, and historically stable. I didn't want to gamble. I wanted something that reflects long-term growth. Plus, with apps like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, or Robinhood, you can buy fractional shares. That means, even with just $5 or $10, you can start. I like the idea of owning a tiny piece of companies I use every day. Apple, Amazon, Google. Suddenly, investing didn't feel so distant. It felt personal, and for the first time, I wasn't just watching the market from the outside. I was in it, even if just a little. That one small move gave me a sense of ownership, and as soon as I hit buy, the real emotion started to kick in. In the first 24 hours, I checked the app at least 10 times. Nothing dramatic had happened, just a few cents up and down. But emotionally, it felt huge. I wasn't celebrating profits or panicking over losses. What I felt was proud. Proud that I finally took action. Proud that I stopped overthinking and started doing. At the same time, doubt crept in. Did I make the right choice? Should I have waited? What if the market crashes tomorrow? I realized investing isn't just about numbers, it's about mindset. That day taught me something unexpected. Once you have money invested, you care more. You pay attention, you learn. Because now, it's real. I didn't become a different person overnight, but I did become someone who invests. And that's a powerful shift, even if the account still showed $100. And just when I started to settle into the idea, the first week brought some unexpected lessons. 1 week in, the number had barely moved up by maybe $1. But what changed most wasn't the money. It was me. I started noticing how often I wanted to check the app. Every tiny shift made me feel something. Hope, worry, excitement. It was like my emotions were tied to a graph I couldn't control. That's when I realized investing isn't just financial, it's psychological. It tests your patience, it reveals your habits. It shows how easily you can get caught in the trap of needing constant results. I also learned about fees, how ETFs work, and the importance of long-term thinking. Just by being in it, I absorbed more in 1 week than months of reading. And that's a huge lesson. Experience is a powerful teacher. Even small money can teach big truths. But the real test came after 30 days, when I could finally see what my $100 had actually done. After 30 days, I opened the app. And there it was, 102.73. No, it wasn't life-changing. It wasn't a jackpot. But it was a win. That small gain meant more to me than any paycheck I'd received, because this money had grown by itself. I didn't trade hours for it. I didn't hustle for it. It worked while I lived my life. That's when it really hit me. This is the power of investing. Not the amount, but the process. The mindset shift. The habit. I also saw something else. It was consistent. Unlike random side gigs or risky bets, this felt solid, predictable, like I had finally stepped onto stable ground financially, even if just with one foot. The result wasn't just 2.73s, the result was confidence, momentum, proof that starting small is still starting, and most importantly, it made me ask, what if I did this every month? Suddenly, my future didn't feel out of reach anymore. Looking back, I can say this. Investing that $100 was 100% worth it, but not for the reason I thought. Let's start with the pros. I learned by doing. Real lessons, not just theory. I overcame fear. That first step is always the hardest. I saw that my money could grow even if just a little. And most importantly, I started building the habit. Now the cons, the return was small. This isn't a get-rich-quick move. Emotional ups and downs, yes. Even with $100, it required patience, and sometimes that's hard when you want fast results. But here's the truth. The value wasn't in the dollars. It was in the direction. I realized that if I keep doing this month after month, those tiny gains will snowball. The 2.73 becomes $20, then $200, then a future I used to think was impossible. And that's the thing. The first $100 changes more than your bank account. It changes you. Something powerful happens when you stop just thinking about money and start doing something with it. Before, I used to scroll past videos like this telling myself, one day I'll start. But that day kept getting pushed. Always tomorrow, always when I have more. Putting $100 into an investment didn't just change my finances, it changed how I saw myself. For the first time, I wasn't just someone dreaming of wealth. I was someone building it. That one step made everything feel possible. It gave me permission to believe in a future I used to doubt. And emotionally, it felt like I reclaimed some control. Instead of feeling stuck in the cycle of working and spending, I felt like I was moving forward. Slowly, steadily, intentionally. So if you've been hesitating, hear this. The hardest part isn't knowing what to do. It's just doing it. And when you take that first step, everything else becomes easier. If this video made you stop and think, even for a second, then take that next step. Open your investment app, transfer $100, choose something simple and safe to start. It's not about making a fortune overnight. It's about building the habit. It's about becoming the kind of person who invests, not just dreams. And if you're still not sure where to begin, that's okay. There's a whole playlist on this channel with simple, beginner-friendly investment options. You don't have to do it alone. Drop a comment and tell me, what would you invest your first $100 in? Let's start that conversation. Like the video, if it helped. Subscribe if you want real, practical tips without the fluff. And remember this, the journey to financial freedom isn't a leap. It's a series of small, brave steps. You don't need to be rich to start. You need to start to get rich, so don't wait for the perfect time. You just lived through mine, and it started with $100.